Hello everybody, it's Kay. Thank you for watching. I did notice that I got a bunch of new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining the family. And if you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and join. I decided to start this channel to be able to share my experience with my infertility in the hope that it will motivate others, because I got a lot of motivation from watching YouTubers who are undergoing their own fertility journeys. And the hope is that the information I share can be motivational and maybe in some cases helpful. I upload a new video vlog every Tuesday. The video vlogs are very IVF rough, as I like to call it. You get to see raw videos of my journey as I went through the process, and the hope is that it inspires you. And then every once in a while, I'll kind of get myself together, like in videos like this, and I will gather questions that are routinely asked about my journey and address them in a video in case they may help somebody who might be watching. In today's video, what I am going to cover is a common question that I have received from folks who are now undergoing the transfer process. How did we have a successful transfer? If you are interested, I'm going to share some of the things that we did. The first and most critical thing that I believe, my husband believes, really helped us gain a successful transfer process is the fact that we underwent PGTA testing. PGTA is a test that looks for, it's a pre-genetic testing for aneuploidy. And some of you may already know this, but some of you may probably are new to this. But what happens is you need 46 chromosomes in order for a human baby to be formed. They get half from the father and then half from the mother for a total of 46, so 23 and 23. And so when you have, in particular, and it happens at every age group, but even with most likely with age-related fertility, which is the diagnosis that I have as a woman who is older having babies, is we have really, really old eggs. And so when the eggs fertilize with your partner or husband's little guys and form an embryo, it is at that stage of life where the chromosomes get together. And sometimes these chromosomes are partial, sometimes they're more. And so the body responds to that in multiple ways. And so when we did the PGTA testing, it tests for the aneuploidy, and you're then able to see whether that is a viable embryo that will make it. Some of the embryos, if they have aneuploidy, will have no chance at life. Some of them, if there's any chance at all, they may result in a miscarriage. Miscarriages range from a few weeks to a few months. And as you guys know, when they range for a few months, that is how you hear women going through the D&C process, and they have to give birth to that baby, or they take pills to be able to dispense what is left. It's a very, very painful experience. And so I took the time to share that with you because we truly believe that by doing the PGTA test, it really was able to help us with the successful transfer. The second tip that really worked for us and may work for you is the fact that we did a frozen embryo transfer. Now, we went through 3 transfer attempts in our IVF journey. So we did 12 IVF cycles, and then we attempted 3 transfer attempts. The first transfer attempt was my husband and my kind of suggested that why don't we test a 3-day frozen embryo and a fresh embryo. So we're going to put the 2 back. What ended up happening is that cycle, actually transfer cycle, ended up being a failure because we couldn't retrieve the fresh egg. It ran away. And then we put back the 3-day embryo, which was frozen from the prior month, and it did not make it. So that transfer did not work. But I did want to share with you that one of the things that I believe really benefits you in the transfer process is if you do a frozen embryo transfer, because then the conditions are ideal to get the embryo to really have the really best chance. Now, fresh transfers do work. Day 3 or day 5 fresh transfers typically work. But in our case, we know that when we did the frozen embryo transfer, it was really set up well, and our body had a chance to kind of be by its epitome self in terms of progesterone, and just mentally and physically you're in a good space and you're ready to go through that transfer. And so I really believe that that is important in a successful transfer process. The other tip that I think really helped us have a successful transfer is the endometrial receptivity assessment, or the ERA. The ERA test was one that I learned about from watching a YouTuber called Laura Laws. I'll put her YouTube link below. Laura is a woman in her 40s, and at 41, she underwent 2 conventional IVF cycles. Now, Laura's diagnosis was very different from mine because she had a lot of eggs. In fact, she had a lot of eggs for a woman in her 40s, so she could do a conventional cycle. But she did do PGTA testing, and I could see the impacts of age, because out of the, I think, 20 plus eggs retrieved, a lot made it to the 5th day. She took them to testing, and in the first cycle, I think she only got 1 that was euploid. And then she did it again. Now, the reason she did IVF again, guys, was because she did not do an ERA test to figure out the best time to transfer the first time. So the first IVF cycle for Laura failed because the doctor did not suggest an ERA. So when my doctor suggested an ERA, I was like, I am doing an ERA, because you can't afford the chance. And it's just so devastating because things just come through your mind, and it's like, I tell you, this journey is highs and lows. So I really appreciate this community and learning. So I learned from Laura the importance of doing an ERA, and that's what we did. So do an ERA test. What it does is it lets you know the epitome window on exactly when to transfer the embryo back in. And I really think that that was critical in our success. The final tip I'll share when it comes to our successful transfer was that we were patient. I say this because when you go through IVF, you want it to work quickly. And some of you are watching this, you may have my diagnosis or you may not. You're just trying to get tips for successful transfer. Either way, you need to be patient. I really like that my doctor was following me meticulously. My second attempt at transfer was canceled, and I was devastated because we did embryo banking. We had frozen this embryo a year prior almost. I was going through a frozen embryo transfer protocol, and then something happened where my doctor just called me and said, no, we cannot transfer this cycle. And it's so devastating when you've been waiting for so long. And so, and I think you can watch that video. It's part of my video vlog when I talk about my second transfer being canceled. But I started learning that relanguaging what cancellations mean. Your doctor doesn't cancel to punish you. They cancel you because they're a good doctor and they detected something and they want to make sure that they rectify it before they move on to the next step. So that's how I looked at it. And I remember my philosophy became, do not put back this embryo until there's epitome chance for success, until we've done everything that we can do. And I said, if it took 4 cancellations, if I had to wait 3 years to transfer this embryo, then that's fine. Because it was the only embryo I had. It was the only one. And so I wanted to make sure that we were dotting our I's and crossing our T's before they put it back in. So focus on your own journey. Be patient. Everybody's journey is different. And follow your doctor, do your research, make sure that you are giving that the epitome chance for success. So thank you for watching, guys. As always, if you have any other questions about my journey, feel free to let me know in the comments or reach out to me using my email. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to do so. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.